I decided to make a video on polymeters and polyrhythms because they seem to get mixed up a lot. So I'll explain what they both are and then do a few examples. So a polymeter is where you have two different meters going at the same time. So you have a 4/4 meter and a 3/4 meter going at the same time, but they both be at the same tempo. The subdivisions would have the same duration. So what happens is if you're talking about matching up bars and their starting points, a 3/4 bar and a 4/4 bar wouldn't match up until after 12 quarter notes, which is 4 bars of 3/4 and 3 bars of 4/4, because 12 is the lowest common multiple of the two subdivisions. So if you play like, it's for example like a 3/4, you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Both beats would stay constant. They'd each be landing. Like the quarter notes, once you're both starting at the same time, all the notes will be hit at the same time, but the original starting points of the bars, which is the crash and the ride, they won't match up until it's been 12 quarter notes, which is 3/4, which is 12. So I'll put up the tabs for that now, and then you can see how they match up after it's been 12 quarter notes. So okay, so as you can see there, I kept a constant 3/4 on these three and a 4/4 on these three, but the original starting point, which was the ride and the crash at the same time, didn't occur until the measure of 3 and 4 matched up, which was after 12 quarter notes. So that's basically how polymeters work. When I explain the difference between when I explain what a polyrhythm is, you'll see like what the difference is between the two of them. So I'll just do a few examples of other polymeters. This one is from a song from one of my bands. It basically keeps, I play 4/4 with my left hand and the kick drum on the snare and the high tom, and then I play just a 3/4 beat, moving around the ride, mid tom and low tom. So I'll show you that now. And another good example would be, this is from another one of my bands. Basically, it's a 3/4 bar. I'll put up the tab now, and there's a constant ride, mid tom, ride, mid tom going throughout. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3, and that goes throughout. But then offset by 16th note is a 3/4 pattern between the hi hat and the snare, which goes. And then bass drum plays alternating on a ride hit and a tom hit. But when you put it together, you get a crazy syncopated feel. It's still in 3/4, so I'll show you that now. Basically that's all there is about polymeters. So I'm going to go through some polyrhythm stuff now. The difference between a polyrhythm and a polymeter is that with polymeters you wait until both patterns have matched back up after however many bars. But with polyrhythms you squash or stretch one of the bars so that they link up at the end of every single measure. So when we have to wait 12 quarter notes, or 3 bars 4/4, 4 bars 4/4 for our 3 against 4 polymeter to sync up, it only takes one single bar of 4/4 to fit 3 notes on the hi-hat over 4 notes on the snare. So if you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, you want to stretch these notes out a bit so that they fit evenly across the 4/4 bar enough to sync up perfectly. So I'll put up a tab now of that, and you can see that it's basically triplets on the hi-hat played over quarter notes on the snare. And that's basically what it is. Like, you could play 7 on the hi-hat and then 4 on the snare. You'd have the hi-hat as stepped upwards then. So what I'll do is I'll play the 2 against 3 polyrhythm, the 3 against 4 polyrhythm between the hi-hat and the snare. They're the easiest ones. The other ones are a bit difficult, but I'll play those 2 and then I'll show you a few examples. But the simple polyrhythms, like 2 against 3, 3 against 4, some people like to kind of argue they're not really polyrhythms because they're so easy to play. They could easily be described as simple syncopation, but we'll just stick with polyrhythms for now. So I'll play 3 against 4, then 2 against 3, then I'll do a few examples from different songs and stuff. Yeah, Meshuggah, their song Sane, they use a polyrhythm in the middle part over the solo. 16 notes are being played on double bass, the snares being hit 4/4, and then it's basically a 3/4 polyrhythm when I was just playing over double bass, and it goes just like this. It's hard to do any other examples of polyrhythms because they get quite difficult, and even the 3 against 4 can be described as just 16 note syncopation very easily. So one interesting thing then about polymeters is Meshuggah use them a lot. Well, they claim to only play syncopated 4/4, but some people describe their riffs, such as Millennium Cyanide Christ and things like that, they describe them as the bass drums in a different time signature, while like you're just playing a straight 4/4 on top of that. So I'll do a few examples of that. One of my other videos I have, it's a polymeter video I have that shows I think it's 2 bars of 17, 16, then a bar of 4/4, and then a bar of 14, 16 I think. That's an example of a polymeter where I'm just counting 4/4 on top. This is also in I could do I can do a short example of one of my band songs. It's 7/4 on the bass drums plus 9/4, which adds up to 16/4 on the bass drums, while I'm counting 4/4 on top. So I'll just play that for you now. Okay, so I think that's everything. Hopefully I've explained things well and covered everything you want to know. If you have any questions, you can just leave me a comment or send me a message, and then also if you have any corrections or something I said that you know is wrong, let me know and I'll fix that.